Hello guys, welcome to the first video on HTML tutorial for beginners using HTML5. Now the first question you may ask yourself is what is HTML? Now HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, is the language for specifying the static content of web pages. Now what does this mean? For example, whenever you open any website, for example, I'm using Firefox browser and this is the default page, and any web page which you see on web browser has a code behind it, and it's written in HTML along with some other languages like JavaScript, PHP, or some styling sheets like CSS and other stuff. But the static content which you see, for example some paragraph or some heading or some other stuff like tables and links, it's all HTML. Now whenever you open your web page, any web page, you just right click on it and just click on view page source. It's available on any other browser like Chrome or Safari. You just right click and just click on view on source, and here you will see all the HTML code which is responsible for this page, right? So this is all written in HTML. Now what is the meaning of static? There are two kind of web pages. One is dynamic web page and other is static web page. So static web page is a page in which you can only see the content. For example, you can see tables, paragraphs, or some article headings and other stuff. And a dynamic page is a page in which you can interact with the web page. For example, you can submit your username and password to your Gmail account or Facebook account, and then it authenticates this username and password with the server side scripting, and then you get your login as access, right? So this kind of pages are called dynamic pages, okay? But all the web pages which you see on your browser have this kind of code, and the static content of all the pages are due to this HTML. Now what is the history of this HTML language, right? So in the year 1991, the first version of HTML came, which was really basic, and it doesn't include any multimedia like video or audio or any other content. And then it was in 1995 the second version of HTML came, which was HTML2. In 1997 the third version, which was HTML 3.2 came, and in 1999 the fourth version came, which was 4.0.1, and in the year 2000 came the version called XHTML, and recently in the year 2014 came the newest version of HTML, which was HTML5. Now what are the new features in HTML5? So in HTML5 it came with new tags, features and APIs. Now this is the list, which is non-exhaustive list of features that tend to be labeled as HTML. For example, new structural elements like header, footer, nav, which stand for navigation bars, and other tags are introduced in this version. Then the new form came, which was called forms 2.0, and the client side validation came in HTML5. Then native browser support for audio and video also was introduced in HTML5 using this tag called video and audio. And then one more thing which was introduced is Canvas API and SVG. The other thing is web storage, offline applications, geolocation, drag and drop, and web workers are also introduced in the new version. And the last but not the least is the new communication API, which was servers and events and web sockets are also introduced in HTML5, right? So HTML5 came with these new features, but these are not only feature which came. There are a huge list of new feature which came with HTML5, and that we are going to learn. But in this video series, we are also going to learn all the basic concepts in HTML itself, like how we can create our first web page and how to start from the beginning by creating your web page to creating a full-fledged web page with interactive things. Right now, to get started with HTML, what do we need? We don't need much. We just need a text editor, which can be any editor, for example Notepad++, Edit Plus, Dreamweaver, TextMate, and there are some advanced IDEs for developing your website using HTML, which can be Eclipse, NetBeans, Visual Studio also supports HTML, and other advanced IDEs. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment, which you can use to develop HTML pages. Now, second thing you need to test your web pages is the web browser. It can be any web browser, for example Firefox, Internet Explorer, Chrome, or Safari. Okay, so we can test on any web browser, right? Now let's see how we can create a simple HTML web page. Okay, so I'm not going to explain the content which I'm going to use inside the HTML page, but we are going to create how we can create a HTML page. So just go to your any folder in which you want to create this file, right click on it, and then new, and click text file, and in here delete everything and just write the name of your HTML page, for example index.html, and then just click yes, and it's going to become a HTML page. Now you can open this HTML by varieties of editors, for example Notepad++, as I said, or native Notepad, which was available in Windows. So you can just right click, open with, and you can just choose for WordPad or Notepad from here. Okay, so just open it in WordPad, for example, and in here you just write your code for HTML. Right now, the basic code in HTML looks like this, and this I'm going to explain you everything, each and everything, what this is and what this head is and what the body is. Everything I'm going to explain in the later videos, but this is what you can say a basic HTML page. Now you can save this by clicking save button, and it will be saved. And once your document is saved, what you can do is go to your HTML file and right click on it, and then you can open with any browser here. So I am going to open it with Firefox, and it's going to look like this. So we have the heading and the paragraph, and here it's called the page title. These are the things I'm going to explain you in details in the later videos, but the basic web page will look like this on your browser, right? So just be ready to develop our own HTML web pages. I will see you in the next video. So stay tuned and please rate, comment, and subscribe, and bye for now.